Mr. Chairman.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to all the nominees. Thank you for being here. Mr. Ali, if I could just come back to you, I want to follow up on what Senator Graham was asking because I didn't hear all of your answers. I just want to make sure that I understand where you are on these issues. So just to set the table here, you're the president and executive director of the MacArthur Justice Center. Is that correct?
Senator, that's correct. I have one other disclosure for you, which is that I'm also a 49ers fan.
Oh,
and
no.
So I'm just apologizing in advance for what Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel will unleash on your Chiefs this Sunday.
Oh, my gosh. Here we go. All right. I'll come back to that. So let's just clarify some things you said to Senator Graham. So your organization, the MacArthur Justice Center, has expressed support in the past for the Defund the Police movement. I'm looking here at public statements, public comments that the organization has made, calling for defunding the police, hashtag defund the police. Here's one. Here's the second one. I know you're familiar with these. And I thought I heard you say to Senator Graham that you disagree with this, that you do not support defund the police. I just want to make sure I got that right.
Senator, that's right. I have never taken that position, nor would I, for any number of reasons. One of which I'd like to say is that I work closely with law enforcement on these issues of accountability, public safety, and confidence in law enforcement.
Okay, good. So to the extent that the center has in the past taken this position, that does not reflect your views and doesn't reflect your leadership. Is that fair to say?
That's right. So much so that I looked into that and tried to figure out how that hashtag, I understand there was an article describing 2 tweets that had been made, looked into that, and I'm still to this day puzzled how that happened. But they were before my time as executive director.
Well, you say puzzled why the center expressed those views? Is that what you're saying?
To my knowledge, the center itself has never taken the position of defund the police.
Okay, and you disagree with that position. You disagree with the defund the police position. Okay, let me ask you about something else I think Senator Graham was touching on. My understanding is that the MacArthur Center asked the Chicago State Attorney's Office to dismiss all the charges against rioters following the BLM riots in the summer of 2020. Do I have that right? And if so, do you agree with that?
Senator, my understanding of that circumstance is that the attorneys in that office, I wasn't a part of that office at the time, represented individuals who were peaceful protesters and represented community groups. And so that letter took place in the course of advocacy that I wasn't personally involved in, so I'm not intimately familiar with the fact.
Okay. You would not support, though, dismissing charges against rioters who committed acts of vandalism, violence, etc., as a general matter?
Senator, I believe that people who are a risk to public safety need to be accountable and need to be held pending those charges if they're a risk to public safety. And I understand the law to require that. Let
me ask you, since you said pending, my understanding is the MacArthur Center also opposes pretrial detention. Is that right?
Senator, so let me be very clear. I believe that if somebody is a risk to public safety, they should be held. And federal law requires that. The Bail Reform Act requires that, in addition to some other considerations. And if confirmed to be a federal district court judge, I would apply that law without reservation.
So I gotcha. So just the center, though, am I wrong? They don't oppose. Your center does not oppose pretrial detention. Am I wrong about that?
Senator, there's no categorical opposition to pretrial detention, as I understand it. The United States Supreme Court has been very clear that someone cannot be detained solely on account of their poverty. But to my knowledge, the Justice Center's position has been that if someone is found to be a risk to public safety, then detention is warranted under the law.
And what about the use of electronic monitoring of defendants? Does the MacArthur Center oppose that?
Senator, again, my understanding of federal law is that the supervised release provision.
Well, but I'm asking about the center, though. I'm familiar with federal law, but the center that you're the executive director of, I just want to clarify. I want to make sure I understand what your positions are.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Senator. So I haven't personally worked on a case involving electronic monitoring. I can tell you that the center is not a policy organization. We don't have a single employee in our organization who takes policies. All of our work is grounded in litigation, in a client.
Okay, let me ask you, I don't mean to interrupt you. I mean, I do mean to interrupt you, but I don't mean to be rude about it. I'm almost out of time. Let me just ask you this. The director, as I understand it, of your Illinois office referred to electronic monitoring as replacing one form of incarceration with another. Does that reflect your views or the views of your organization? How about, does it reflect your views? Let's just get to that.
Senator, I'm not sure I fully understand what that would mean under federal law. I can tell you that the Bail Reform Act, the Sentencing Reform Act, and the supervised release provision require supervision in certain circumstances, first and foremost, when there is a risk to public safety and a need to protect the public.
Well, my time's expired, and I know that there are other colleagues here who want to ask you questions. I appreciate your answers. This is helpful. My concern has been that the center that you're the executive director of seems to take positions to me that seem, frankly, a little extreme. So maybe those aren't your positions. I'll give you some more questions for the record. I was so nice to you, even though you're a 49ers fan. It's horrible. But the Chiefs, I know I was really nice. The Chiefs are going to win by 10, at least. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We'll watch together.
Without objection, we're going to enter into the record a letter sent in support of Mr. Ali's nomination.